Nagisti, and welcome to Nagisti's cooking channel, to be announced.
Yes.
Today I have my friend TT with me.
Yeah.
And we were honestly just watching YouTube videos one day, and we kind of binge watched Seafood Broil. And we came across Blove'S page.
Yes.
And we were like, girl, we gotta make this Seafood Broil.
For sure. Yeah.
And that sauce, y'all.
The Blove'S sauce.
It's good, trust me. We're just gonna get right into it. So let's start. For the Blove'S sauce, we're gonna need 4 sticks of butter, an onion, and garlic. As for the rest of the seafood and complementing items, we decided to use these options, but obviously feel free to use whatever you like based off your own preference. This recipe calls for a lot of seasonings, so please feel free to pause the video and take a screen grab of the ingredients that you see listed above here. First, we'll need red pepper flakes, brown sugar, black pepper, Cajun and accent salt, garlic powder, Worcestershire sauce, Old Bay, hot sauce, garlic, and ginger. So for the Blove'S sauce, we're going to be using a small saucepan similar to the pan that you see to the left. And as for the seafood broil, we'll be needing a deep pan to broil all our seafood. Since this recipe calls for a lot of seasonings, I went ahead and prepped our seasonings and added 1 teaspoon of each of the seasonings that was listed below. Next, we're going to go straight into chopping up half an onion, and I just went ahead and diced up the onion since we are going to be putting it into a blender. And I ended up using 6 garlic cloves, but feel free to use either minced garlic or garlic cloves and just base it off whatever you have already available. Next, I went ahead and blended all of the mixture of the onion and garlic, making sure that it was finely chopped. Place it into a small bowl. Once you place your onions and garlic mixture into a small bowl, we're going to go straight into prepping our potatoes since they will take the longest to boil. So I went ahead and washed 5 of the potatoes that I used for this recipe. As you see, they're all freshly washed. And since I prefer to have bite-sized pieces for the seafood broil, I just went ahead and chopped up each of the potatoes in half. We're going to start our boil, place our potatoes on the pan, and as you see for this potato seasoning, I'm adding Old Bay, Cajun, and accent salt. And honestly, I just eyeballed it, but it's all up to your own tolerance and palate level. After we stir our potatoes, we're going to let it sit and simmer on the stove for about 20 minutes. Next, we're going to jump right into making the Blove'S sauce, and this recipe requires a lot of butter. Here, it shows that I used 2.5 sticks, but I ended up using the last half of the other stick. So once our butter has melted, we're going to prep the seasonings for the Blove'S sauce. I'm going to be using ginger, Worcestershire sauce, hot sauce, our seasoned mix, as well as the onion and garlic. First, we're going to start off by placing the onion and garlic mixture into our pan, and we're going to let that simmer. Next, I'm adding our seasonings to the pot. We're going to stir, making sure that everything has completely dissolved. Y'all, look at that sauce. Amazing. Next, we're going to add a teaspoon of the Worcestershire sauce, teaspoon of our hot sauce, and a tiny bit of ginger. Be careful not to use too much ginger since it is potent and we don't want to ruin the sauce. Next, I'm going to add a splash of vinegar. After we've added all the ingredients to our Blove'S sauce, we're going to let that sit and simmer for about 10 minutes and make sure that everything has blended very well. So we're going to let our Blove'S sauce sit and simmer for about 10 minutes. We're going to check on our potatoes, and one way that I check is I stick a fork into one of the potatoes, and as you can see, it's not done yet, so I'm going to let that sit for another 10 more minutes. We're going to go straight into washing our little old friend Larry the lobster. Make sure you just thoroughly wash it and ensure that he's clean. Next, we're going to add half water to our big broil pot, and I'm going to season it with Cajun seasoning, accent salt, Old Bay, and I added some pink Himalayan salt just for more added flavor, but everything that I'm adding into this broil pot is just based off eyeballing. As our water is coming to a boil, I'm checking on our potatoes, and as you can see, they are done, so I'm going to let that sit to a side. Next, I'm going to add our eggs to the pot, since they do take the longest to boil compared to our other seafood items. So I'm just gently placing each of them. Next, I'm going to add our crab legs into the pot. Woo! Look at that claw, man. Wow. Yep, so we're just going to place 4 of our crab legs into the pot, making sure that they are each halfway into the pot. The steam will end up cooking them. Next, I'm going to add our shrimp. Now we're going to add our corn. Season it a little more because you can never go wrong with just a little bit more seasoning. Now we're going to prep our water for Larry the lobster. I basically use the same seasoning that I use for the main seafood broil. Make sure you place the shell down for the lobster. Now that we've placed all of our seafood on the boiler, we're going to set our timer for 6 minutes. And there you have it, guys. That's the end of our cooking video. We just got a little fancy and we plated everything up, and as you can see, everything turned out so delicious, so amazing. Let's just get into these mussels real quick. We ended up buying these mussels because ain't nobody got time to be cooking mussels, but we cooked our eggs, we have our shrimp and our potatoes and our corn, and look at little old Larry and those crab legs, guys. We just added a little parsley to garnish and sprinkle some paprika. But there you have it. Please like this video and subscribe to my channel. Also, leave a comment down below, and you can also suggest any future food videos that you may have in mind for me to do. As for me and TT, we're about to go and devour this food, so please check the description box below to check out TT's channel, where we're going to do a mukbang video to the seafood broil.